and then we will sew it all on, and then I think, I'm not positive, but I think we're gonna be done. Amen. Praise the Lord Jesus. I'm so glad. Hello. It is time for stool number 2. And if you're paying attention to my shirt, that's a good clue of what's going to be happening today. I tried really hard to not get another stool. Okay, not super hard, but I tried a little. Just barely any. I tried that. It didn't work. I had to get the black stool. Here it is, the black stool. And today we are going to be decorating this lovely piece with your lovely flowers and some stuff that I've made to go with them. You can tell that my top is really flowery and bright and a little obnoxious, but that's the norm for me. I love big colors. When I was planning this stool, it just came out of nowhere a little bit, not completely, but a little bit out of nowhere. And I was like, let's do a Dia de los Muertos stool, which is a Day of the Dead stool in the Mexican culture. It's a day where they celebrate their family members who have passed on. And if you've ever seen the movie Coco, one of my very favorites, it is Dia de los Muertos, skeleton, dead people all over the place, but they're pretty dead people, you know, because it's flowery and it's bright and beautiful. Love it so much. I've also been watching a lot of AltKnots, her YouTube channel, which is Kayla. And so dead things have really been on my mind because of that. I really like Kayla. I really do. You combine Kayla's love of murderous things and kind of the dark and spooky with Coco and the bright floral, you have me. I'm right there in the middle with dead things and flowers. Really like both of those kind of things, especially if you can mix them up and make them pretty. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make this with sugar skulls, which are the skulls in Dia de los Muertos. They're called sugar skulls. And we're going to put them on here with your flowers. Exciting, right? Yes. Yes. So exciting. So I've made a few. Just a second. Now I've made 5 that are going to go here around the edges. And then I'm going to take the flowers that y'all have made and we're going to use some as like little headpieces, and then some will be separating the skulls from each other. And it's just going to be obnoxious and bright and beautiful with dead stuff. Love it. I've actually had the pattern for these for some time, and it is from The Hat and I'll put a link to the pattern down below. In that pattern, these are actually made in a 3D format. So you make the front of the skull and then you make the back, you sew them together and you can stuff them. You can make garland, or for my UK friends, bunting to hang up in celebration of this. And they're just beautiful. She has the patterns for the eyes, flowers, the skulls. I just love this whole pattern set. It's so neat. And you have so many options. The first one I've made is, of course, my favorite. It is turquoise and pink. They are really easy. There are, I think, 4 to 5 different kinds of eyes that she has in the patterns. And I've tried to do one of each of the patterns. And so this one is that one. I can't remember the name of it. So it's this, which is my favorite. I have done this orange and yellow one, which the eyes are the full flower. This one with turquoise and kind of purple colors. This one we have hearts as our pupils because skulls need a heart here and there, don't they? Yes, they do. And I also really love this one. These kind of look like limes, so kind of margarita-ish, goes with the theme. Perfect. I'm first going to pin them onto my stool, and then I'm going to sew these, and then we're going to come back with the flowers. Now the very top of my stool is going to be what I am hoping will turn out to be kind of like a Frida sugar skull. She'll also have a big floral headpiece up here, and I've found an image that I'm going to kind of try to follow along with and make it big and obnoxious like I like. Before we can get started, we got to unscrew again. I know, unscrewing legs is just not nearly as fun as screwing them in. It's not, but we have to do it. So here we go. We have done the unscrewing. Now we're going to do the pinning of the sugar skulls. Now the way I want this, I need to find out where exactly the center is, because I'm going to put my favorite sugar skull, this one, right here in the very front. And then when I put the big skull on top, these are going to be lined up, is the hope. When I start pinning, I don't know. But That's the plan. I think they're pretty even all the way around. When I start to sew them on, I'll really straighten them up, but I think this is a good start. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started sewing, and then I'll be coming back and we'll start placing flowers. I'm so excited. And because they're named sugar skulls, anybody else hungry? Just me? Probably just me. But really makes me want some sugar. That's probably not a good thing. I'm gonna refrain from thinking I need that. I think. I had to turn on my ceiling fan because y'all, it is so hot. I took a long walk this morning at around 7. It is 1:32 in the afternoon. I've yet to cool off. It is so hot. I just need to say that again. It is so hot, is all I know to say. Sometimes my fan will interfere with the mic. I hope it doesn't, because I don't care. Y'all are gonna have to just cope with that because I'm hot. Okay? All right. I finished sewing on the sugar skulls. Here they are. Some of their eyes are a little crooked, like this one. She's a little lopsided. Once I get the flowers on their heads, it's not going to be super duper noticeable. That's what I'm telling myself now before I start really getting itchy and obsessive about it. But we're just going to go with the flow for the time being. So let's go through these flowers and see what all I have. Now I know the biggest flowers are going to go on the very top of this, like the big roses that are in here. Those are mostly going to be on the very top part. So I'm going to use the smaller flowers that are in here to go on the sugar skulls. I love this obnoxious pink. It is so pretty. I love that. And then there's these cute little tiny ones. They're so cute. Okay, I think I have picked out the smallest ones that were in there. I'm going to start arranging these on each of my little dead people. So let's see how this goes. I think I have gotten... Well, they keep falling off. My pins are not long enough to hold some of these, but I think I have gotten the majority of the ones figured out that I'm going to put on the sugar skulls. So here we are. I tried to color coordinate them. I don't know how good of a job I've done. Then we have these spaces here where I'm going to try to make little arrangements with some of the flowers that we have left and some of the big obnoxious flowers that y'all sent in. That's what's next. I'm just going to be sewing and gluing. Lots of that. Then I'm going to put on a murder podcast so we can just sew and glue to murder while I am decorating skulls. It goes together beautifully. Now all I need is sugar. I don't have any up here and I'm too lazy to go downstairs. So we'll just imagine I have sugar. See, let me get my glue. There it is. And I've just gotten some more because this one is almost out, but it's downstairs. Hopefully this will last until I can get downstairs and get the other glue. Some of the flowers I'm layering on top of each other to kind of make them pop a little bit more, because this one is so little, but the one behind it has a big hole in the middle and this fills in the hole perfectly. And so I'm just sewing the little one onto the big one and then I'm going to sew it on. Here's everything sewn on. I think they look pretty good. I do have some leaves that I'm going to be adding in after I do all the other stuff. I'm going to do some fine tuning of everything, but that'll come at the very end. So now we're going to pick out the flowers that are going to go in between each of these beautiful sugar skulls. The ones I am wanting for between each of these, I don't want too big, but I want enough to where they kind of make a statement. Like, I really like this one, but it's a little bit too big. This might be better on the large skull that's going to go on the very top. We need 5 pretty large ones. I think I've chosen everything. We're going to do this one, and this one, and this one, this one, and this one. These will be perfect between each of the little heads. So I'm going to go ahead and do that next. I need to find some yarn. Only one of these has tails, so I'm going to have to find some yarn to kind of tack these on, because glue is going to work, kind of, but we need them to be pretty secure because I think these would easily peel off. So I'm going to find some stuff to put those on. I have gotten everything sewn on, all the flowers. They look so cute. And I even had some little curly vines that I put in, a few of them. I'm waiting to do leaves because I've kind of thought of something else to zhuzh it up a little bit, and I want to see how that looks before I add leaves because it might be too much. I know it's hard to believe that there could ever be too much zhuzhing, but it's possible. It is very possible to be too extra. It is already just absolutely full of color, and if I add a lot more, I think it's gonna be too much. So we're gonna wait to see how everything else looks before I do that. Now the next thing I am gonna add, which is my extra zhuzhing that I made while watching the Olympics, because what else are you supposed to do while watching the Olympics? I do really enjoy the Olympics because it's not the regular sport that I don't understand. In the Olympics, I know you're supposed to get from like point A to point B in like swimming, or in gymnastics, I know they're not supposed to fall. I get that. I understand it. Football, they're going back and forth, and I don't know what penalties, fouls, yardage, downs. I don't get any of that. Too many rules. But these simple things like swimming, gymnastics, diving, I get it. I totally understand what's going on. So I do enjoy it. And because I understand it, I can do something easy and enjoyable during that time. And what I made during my Olympic sports viewing was this. Just a second. It's a big rope. But this big rope is actually what we're going to call cording. And it is going to go on the top here and follow the line around the circle and kind of give it some edging and a little bit of definition here on the very top of this. Also, side note, have y'all been watching my Snoop during the Olympics? Man, I just love him. There is a reason I drink that man's wine. He is just lovable. I love him. And he's so positive, and he'll be with the families, and he's just being Snoop. I mean, really, how can we not support that man and drink his wine? How can we not do that? I'm doing my part. I just love my Snoop in like all the ways. Not just his wine. I like his music a whole lot, and I just love Snoop as an individual. He's just wonderful. And the Olympics just bring out his wonderfulness even more so. And you can fight me on that. It's okay. You can fight me because I'm going to win, because he's amazing. Okay? Okay. If you will remember, this was the sugar skull that I want to be the very front. And so when I sew on my cording here, I want to be sure that the seam is on this end, because that's where the big skull is going to be on the top, and the flowers and stuff will hide the seam in the cording when I put it up here. So that's what I'm going to do now. So as you can see, it's a different day. It's actually a different week because life has been happening. And if you've watched most of my videos, you know that I always try to emphasize continuity in my clothing. So I try to wear the same clothes over several days while I'm filming. That didn't happen this time because my maid, the one who does my laundry, is behind. And I'm the maid. So I'm behind on laundry, so we're wearing a different shirt today. I think it still kind of goes. I mean, I've got the pink tassels. I have different earrings. These are sugar skull earrings made by my friend Cammie, the little 12-year-old who watches my videos faithfully. She prides herself on usually being one of the first people to view my videos, and she's 12, and I love her so much. So thank you, Cammie. I kind of don't remember where we left off. So I'm just looking at my things here, and I'm guessing where I left off. From the looks of what I have here, it looks like we're sewing on things. As we have been doing the majority of this video is sewing on things. We're going to continue that. I've kind of made a rough layout of the skull that's going to be here on top, and it's looking good. I'm going to finish the skull face, and then we'll put it on, and then we'll arrange all the flowers. That's the next part, and I will go ahead and get started on that. I kind of haven't been here in several days, and I've forgotten where I've put most of my stuff because I'm really not well organized right now. But I think it's close by. Just a second. Yeah, it was right here. This is all the yarn that I've been using for this baby. So let's see here. I'm sure I have some black in here because I think I'm gonna do the black mouth, and then we're gonna do the eyes, and I'm gonna do eyes. I'm kind of thinking I want to do more of these eyes. I think those kind of stand out the best. Let me see. No, you know what? Changing my mind. I think I want to do this one. The lime eyes, kind of margarita-y. I like this puff flower here in the middle on these. So I think I'm going to do those because this one, though I love them, they do give you that kind of hypnotized look a little bit. And this one is reminiscent of a drink that I like to drink in the summertime, a margarita. And I think we're going to go for this kind of look. Not necessarily these colors. We might go for more, say, sangria or Snoop or other drinks that are pretty, because I like those a lot. I like pretty fruity drinks. Let me get started on picking out the yarns before the yarn bag falls out between my legs. It's like I've given birth to yarn. I've gotten her mouth on, and now I'm gonna start on the eyes, and I found some colors. Zach was supposed to come and fix my lights. Where is Zach? He's working. He's not here doing what I need him to do. He evidently is trying to keep this family alive. I think it's a little self-centered at times, but because I need him here to fix my video lights. But alas, if I'm in the dark, it's Zach's fault, not mine. It's easier to blame him than to take responsibility for not knowing how to do this. It's easier to do that. I have said fairly recently that I'm trying so hard to not buy yarn, and I really have been, but then, like I said, I've been watching Kayla on AltKnots a lot, and Kayla has been doing some shopping and pointing out places to go for certain kinds of yarn, and I went down the rabbit hole and I went shopping, y'all. We're gonna try some of my new yarn for the eyes on Frida's sugar skull head thing. One of them is this. You're gonna notice this is a color that I'm really drawn to right now. It's kind of a salmony pink, and this is I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby. And then this pretty color, Sangria. Do you see it? This screams Sangria eyes. It screams it. And y'all know I like me some fruity wine. These I thought were gonna be perfect, and with orange, because Pinkoween is upon us. And we are doing sugar skulls, which is right after Halloween. And I think it's gonna be cute. They're obnoxious, but I don't think you would expect anything less from me. No, you wouldn't. And I have my pattern here on my trusty little iPad, and I'm gonna get started on this. Did y'all see that? It was already sticking out right here. Look at that. That's amazing. I love this yarn. Yes, I do. I love this yarn when it has a center pull that just pulls right away. Okay, I've got my little eyes all done, and I used a 4mm hook with these because I knew they needed to be bigger, and man, these are some big old eyes for this young lady. Well, this dead woman. They're really big eyes. Now I'm going to use my fabric glue, and I have tied off the ends here in the back, but just to be safe, I'm going to glue these ends because if the stool actually does get used, we don't want it to come apart. And I've evidently had my nozzle and things because it has a lot of black yarn on there. It has seen things. This glue is pretty much done. There is still some left in here, but it just does not want to come out. It has like, it's like a quarter of a bottle, but it is struggling. I'm gonna go ahead and put these on here, and the glue is still a little wet, so that's fine because it'll kind of help these stick on to here along with my sewing, because I am gonna tack them on with sewing as well. After I sew them on, I'm gonna also go back with glue just to make sure they're on there pretty good, because I always get scared things aren't on there pretty good. I'm gonna be extra gluey sewy. Here it is. Isn't she lovely? I mean, could there be a better skull out there? Probably not. Not as good as this one. She's gonna look much better with her floral headpiece, though she's just striking as she is right now. More sewing. There's so much sewing in this. Really, there's so much. I had a little bit of extra right here. I remember telling myself that this is going to be covered up with the flowers, but I want to make sure this is the very front. So I'm going to put this one on here right about center with that one, so that these faces kind of line up with one another. And now we're going to sew some more. It just doesn't stop. When I made the skull on top, I double stranded, and one of the strands is DK and the other is worsted. It made it have a nice size, and I'm also going to put some more glue down because can there be enough glue? No, but there's not much in here, but I have more. Don't you worry, I have much more glue. I mean, when I say this stuff doesn't want to come out, I mean it. Really, it doesn't want to come out. I'm just done with this one. I'm done. I'm gonna listen to a podcast while I sew on 5 million flowers and a skull on top of here. So it's gonna be a little bit. I can get some good murder in here. I went and got the Big Bertha glue. That other one's just not working. And look, I also found some little baby glues. How cute is this? And bitter bubbly water, my favorite. Oh, this one works so much better. She is sewn on. Now it's time to put all the flowers back. These flowers are also pretty. Look at all the pretty roses.
This is a lighting test, testing lighting. Lighting test?
It's another day. This is taking me forever. And it's not because I'm not getting work done. It's because there's just a lot of stuff going on in my world. Then my mother has all these appointments, and then I've had a few appointments, and we had company. We had a party for my son. Things be happening, and I am tired. This stool with skulls on it is very symbolic of the way I feel right now. I'm dead. I'm just dead tired. And even though I'm exhausted, I did manage to wash my clothes. Look. I'm wearing the shirt I was wearing in the first part of my video for continuity, not the shirt I was wearing in another little section of the video because I hadn't done laundry. I've done it now. Here it is. It's clean again. We're gonna be somewhat not continuity'd in this video, but it's fine. It's fine. Where we left off was I basically finished the face, but I'm gonna be honest. I hate her face. I hate it. It doesn't pop like I need it to pop, and I've asked several of my friends. We all agree this young lady needs rhinoplasty. Her nose is too small, way too small. She needs more. And then nothing is popping on her face, nothing. Her eyes just look kind of dead, deader than what she is right now, dead, like really dead, and she needs more. So what I've decided is I have made her a new nose. And the noses for this pattern, for these sugar skulls, they're all hearts. They're upside down hearts. I made a bigger heart and then I trimmed it in this turquoise. Now look, that's mo better, mo better. And because it is twice the size of what is beneath, I can just sew this on top. But this is still not enough. And now it kind of clashes because of the turquoise. Here's the solution to that. We're going to trim everything in turquoise. We're going to trim the whole face in turquoise. It's going to be an outline, and that is going to make it pop, along with her eyes. They're going to be trimmed in turquoise. And everything will be kind of the same in turquoise, because there's turquoise trimming the edges, and now we're going to trim the face, and I really think it's going to make it come together. So that's what I'm going to do now. I have made most of the pieces. I have one more eye I need to make the trim for. So I'm going to do that now, and then we will sew it all on. And then I think, I'm not positive, but I think we're going to be done. Amen. Praise the Lord Jesus. I'm so glad. This just wouldn't end. This one, sorry, Tater's in here again. This one just would not end. This young lady and all of her dead friends have been haunting me for 2 weeks now. And I'm done. I'm done with their stuff. I'm just done. So we're fixing to really be done with her. And that's a really good thing. I have never been so tired of a skull in all my life. I haven't had a lot of contact with skulls, to be honest, but this one takes the cake. Truly, I'm over it. She may be beautiful, but I'm over her. I have all the pieces now that we're going to trim this girl's face with. This is the last bit of sewing I want to do for a little while. I need a sewing break, but I can tell you what I already know about the next stool. I'm not going to get that. It's worse. It's lots worse than this one. I know that my dreams are going to be just that, dreams. It's not going to happen. I just wanted to tell y'all and let you know that I'm sad about it. And I would like y'all to be sad with me, because sewing is nice sometimes. Sometimes it's kind of relaxing. We're not there anymore. It's not relaxing anymore. I'm ready to start listening to Rob Zombie and horror shows, because every time I stick the needle in, I think of death on a skull. Yeah, that's true. I might just be a tad sadistic at times, just a little bit. Along with my 12-year-old brain, I might be really mean sometimes, and this is bringing out my meanness. I'm kind of sorry, not completely, but a little bit. Now I'm gonna start trimming out the... What are you doing? Tater. Any of y'all needing a tater fix? Here he is. He just snorted on my face. But isn't he pretty? It's all out. I love this guy. Farts and all. Now I have a little bit of extra of the trimming, and I am going to try to hide it back here in the flowers. So whoever gets this, yep, I flubbed up. There's stuff hidden inside the flowers of where I messed up. Is it really handmade unless it doesn't have screw ups? No, that's not real. Perfect things don't exist. At least not in my crochet. Almost every one of them has a screw up, and that's what this is. Hopefully other people won't know it's there except for whoever buys this and if you're watching this. Also, sewing is making me sweat a lot. Now here she is with her new trimming. I'm still not happy. She needs bigger lips now. These little stitches, they're not going to cut it. We need some filler. Who knew that skeleton heads made out of yarn could have lip filler? Now you know. This is not going to be like Botox where you have to have it done every little bit. I don't know. I've never had any of that stuff done. I know you have to have it done repeatedly. This girl, it's one and done. Plus, this is really cost efficient for her. Also, she doesn't have money. I'm just making stuff up. I think you can tell that. Yeah, it's obvious. So let's take off this mouth. I think it's going to come off pretty easy because it's not really glued on in this area. We will just do a little nip and tuck here. Most of the stitches came out. A few of them right over here, you'll see some darker areas. That's where I had to just stuff these in to her face with my bamboo skewer because they were glued down underneath here and I couldn't pull them out. This Fabri Tac was really tacking them in. We are going to consider these kind of like dissolving stitches in her face underneath this area. That is why it's kind of discolored right now. It's a little bit of bruising. It's going to be fine when we put in the filler. It's all good. I'm thinking what I need to do is just make the stitches taller and a little bit more spaced out, not as many, and that will make her look like her lips weren't like stitched closed. They'll look more teeth-like. I guess that's what it is. I don't know, but I'm thinking in my head it's going to be better this other way. We'll see. I could be totally wrong. See, this is better, and now we'll just... One of the old stitches tried to dissolve on the outside, and we are just doing some more little surgery here, and we're stuffing that sucker back in there along with the tails from what I just did. This is so much better. She needed a bigger mouth. That's all it was. It's just a bigger mouth. I'm not going to say more about that. The 12-year-old brain in me is going once again. I just can't help it. I'm better with this. She looks more normal. Not completely because it's a skull, but a lot more normal for what she is. This was a lot of fun, actually. Planning this out, I really had fun. Sewing it all on, nope, I didn't necessarily enjoy that part. But my end result was worth it, and I got to use a ton of flowers. I'm not going to count all these because I've got better things to do with my time than to count all the flowers on here. Maybe on a day when I'm not sweating profusely, I will want to do that. Today's not that day. I'm sorry, but there's a bunch of flowers on here, and I am so excited I got to use up so many of your beautiful flowers. It wouldn't be one of my creations unless I gave everything a name. So of course there are names. Because this is a Mexican theme, I'm choosing names that are what I would consider Mexican names. So here on the front, this is Lupe. This is Griselda. This is Carlita. This is Margarita, because she has lime eyes. And Maria, right here on the back. These dead ladies, I hope, will make somebody happy in their home. For those of you who don't know about why I'm doing these stools, it is for a charity called All Blind Children of Texas, which was started by my mother and my stepfather about 20 years ago, which benefits blind children in the state of Texas. And they have an auction every year, and I am making these stools to be auctioned off for that charity. One will be going to the charity dinner, the other 4 I will be auctioning off here on my channel. When it gets closer to that time, y'all are gonna have to help me decide which one will go to the charity dinner and which ones y'all will want to bid on. I think this one is gonna make a splash. I really do. They're gonna be dropping dead to get this one. That was a really bad dad joke, I'm sorry. Thank y'all so much for coming along on this crazy journey with these dead ladies. It's been fun, and I will see you next time here on the Rumi Mill.
Es difícil para mí poder soñar como lo hacen en los cuentos y los libros. Quizás porque costó la vida entera, quizás porque perdí muchos amigos, será porque la vida